This episode on Just Next Door, we have some great guests and groups to highlight. Jake, what are you most looking forward to?
Well, Lauren, what is there not to look forward to? We have photographers, videographers, art programs, and more.
Not to mention dance marathons and coffee shops on campus. Let's check out what's just next door.
Welcome to Just Next Door, the show where we highlight amazing programs, people, and groups in the community and beyond. I'm Jake Eisman.
And I'm Lauren Ulrich. We have some great stories lined up, so let's dive right into our first program.
Students at a high school in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania host an annual charity event to help local hospitals. But what makes the event so special?
Well, Jake, this event is a dance marathon that raises money throughout the day and night to help sick kids in the community. Take a look.
Time to pop and lock, shuffle, and twist, all for a good cause. 7DM is a dance marathon put on by a high school called Wyoming Seminary.
What we do is we raise money for kids at Janet Weiss's Children's Hospital in Danville, Pennsylvania. And we'll make it run throughout the year, and then we'll host the event in April or May around, and we'll invite the whole school to come down. And it's filled with dancing and fundraising and a whole bunch of fun stuff. So we had Zoom events this year, like baking and cahoots and all that stuff. And then the second half, we did it outside on our back campus to be spread out and safe with COVID. And we still were able to do dance battles and pie teachers in the face, which was really fun.
The student-run event is always a hit every year and raises tons of money.
My favorite thing about SEMDM is getting to learn about the kids and their backgrounds and their stories. And it's really eye-opening to hear their perspective of everything.
And probably our morale dance. It's really fun having the whole school learn a 6 to 10 minute dance all together and have everybody come together in the end and do it all the way through.
From Just Next Door, I'm Kevin Medico.
It's nice to see students so passionate about a cause. What better way to raise money through music and dancing?
Speaking of music, our next story features a member of Project 440, a program that helps young people grow and discover their musical talents. Take a look.
Project 440 is a creative youth program that uses music as a tool to change lives. It doesn't teach music, but uses music as a tool to teach entrepreneurships, leaderships, and service.
Basically, Project 40 has three main programs or components, as you can say. So Doing Good is the entrepreneurial workshop program. Learn about just how to make your own nonprofit. And so for Instruments for Success, that's the college readiness program. The world-renowned Sigis the College Fairy, that's what we call him. He teaches us how you can do music in college, what else you can do, and we also have guest speakers that have that shows us oh, this is what I've done with my degree in music, and this is what you can also do. So it's been really inspiring. And the Youth Advocacy Council is basically just alumni from Doing Good or Instruments for Success, or just people who are affiliated with Project 440.
Being around classical music her whole life, being a part of Project 440 really allowed for something greater.
I feel like the fact that it uses music in another way also makes it really special, because I've been with the classical music, I wouldn't say industry, but just around Selman Music School, everything like that. And it's basically been strictly classical music, but it's given me another outlet to be creative with music. And I just feel like it's really special because it's just that. It gives me a bigger perspective on what I can do instead of going down the classical music route. I can become an entrepreneur. I can become a college counselor. Even though I can still stick with music, I can really become anything. That's what Project 440 really made me realize.
Wow, that looks like a great opportunity for young musicians. Music is a wonderful way for students to relieve stress and anxiety.
Another way students can relieve stress comes with our next story, the Counseling Center at Lasalle University, where students can get the help they need.
Throughout the last few months, the Lasalle University Counseling Center has seen many changes. Jessica Brennan, who is the director of the Student Counseling Center, spoke about not being able to interact with patients face to face.
Imagine it's, the transition was a little bit of a challenge, and it was a little different to go from in person, whether that's in, doing classes or doing therapy sessions, to doing something like this, because there's nothing that you can compare to the in-person exchange that you have, body language, you can only see perhaps that in-person interaction, just the natural rapport that you might have with someone. However, I think, we've all learned to adapt as human beings. We're pretty resilient, and we've had no choice but to make do.
When asked about the numbers have increased or decreased, Jessica said,
so I can speak about this semester, but I do want to remark about last spring up until now. So when we moved to remote work, there were a couple of glitches. We all had to get remote access and Zoom. So the number of students dropped quite a bit. I think some students, because they went home, were fine, or felt like, I don't know that I want to do this over Zoom. I'd rather do it in person. And then the numbers continued to remain lower than typical through the fall semester because students were remote.
Numbers have increased this semester. If you are a LaSalle student and want to make a health consultation, please call 215-951-1355. That's 215-951-1355.
It's wonderful to hear that students can get the help they need. Jake, do you know any other groups that are helping people?
Another group that helps those in need is the Grace Project. We had the chance to speak with the program to learn more about how they're helping those in the Philadelphia area.
While they focus on providing support for the homeless, they also help those on a nomination basis. The group even helped a woman provide for her foster dogs. Let's hear more about the project.
So today we are joined by President of the Grace Project, Megan Cohen. So Megan, what is the main mission and goal of the Grace Project?
So our mission is restoring hope through acts of kindness. A big focus of what we do focuses, on homelessness and addiction issues, but it's about so much more than that. Part of the inspiration behind it is my own personal struggles. And there was a lot of reasons growing up that I would have hoped that there was something similar. And then throughout my addiction where, people doing similar acts kind of is what helped me to pull myself out of that.
How long has this organization been around?
So the first post was on my personal Facebook. I didn't actually plan on, having a nonprofit. The Grace Project was never something that I woke up one morning and was like, hey, let me do this. So basically I made a post on my personal Facebook and, I just said that me and my mom were going out to one of the areas that I was homeless in, and if anyone wanted to come, that they were more than welcome. And that post, it blew up. Tons of people commented on it. People shared it. I was getting messages from a lot of people. And when it got to the point, which was not even 2 weeks in, that, people wanted to donate money, that was kind of, when I decided to go nonprofit. I'm a firm believer, like I always say, that, the Grace Project it's not me, you know what I mean? It's something greater than me that's at work. And as long as I do my best to navigate it, things just keep working out. And that's kind of the way that it's been going. And, now we have this, by getting that, tax exemption status, there's a lot more that we can try to do. It'll take time, but, we have goals and we have some ideas of some bigger things that are in the works. And, hopefully within a year or two, it'll be possible.
So homelessness is one of the main things that you focus on, but what are some of the other projects that you guys have done or have helped with?
So, kind of sticking in that same realm, we also like to clean up the streets when we're out there because we don't want to just, add to the trash by giving food out. It's about making the areas that are struggling. It's giving hope for everybody out there. So, there's the people on the streets that need food and maybe, blankets or stuff like that. But then there's the families too. And there's kids that can't go outside and play because there's uncapped needles on the streets. So we have a big focus on cleanup. But for Christmas, we took nominations for families, and through the help of a couple other nonprofits that I reached out to, we were able to give 25 kids a Christmas that wouldn't have had one otherwise. So I did my best to try to find, ways to accommodate everyone, and every single person that was nominated, we were able to help their kids. So that was really exciting. And then recently, there was a woman that she like fosters dogs, and she had I think it was 2 open heart surgeries and was waiting on her 3rd, but she needed her heart to be like operating at a certain capacity to get it, and was out of work, obviously. So she actually wrote in on her own behalf, along with like, I want to say it was probably 3 or 4 other people wrote in about her. And her biggest fear, like she was at the point where she thought she was going to have to get rid of all the dogs and like surrender them to a shelter. So it was in line with their mission. She was losing hope. She had a lot going on, couldn't afford dog food. So we couldn't do much, but we were able to send her like between $300 and $400 worth of dog food and treats. And the goal is to be able to do more. We plan to continue to kind of, for the most part, run on like a nomination basis. But like I said, there's a lot of reasons that people might need assistance, and we want to be able to be, even if we can't help them ourselves, kind of put them in contact or steer them the right way, and stay focused obviously on like those areas that really kind of, I don't want to say forgotten areas, but to an extent, people want to kind of turn a blind eye to them, areas like Kensington. So there's a lot more that we want to do there, and it's going to take an army to make change out there, but we want to be part of that army. So
that's really incredible, all those things you're doing out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, volunteering and giving back to the community is an amazing experience. How do you think your volunteers and yourself have benefited from giving back, and why do you think it's so important?
So I would say I can speak for myself, and I would imagine that a lot of volunteers have a similar experience. For me, like it's just internally, it's very fulfilling. It's important, it's personal to me because, like I said, initially it started out as, hey, let's go out to this area that I was homeless at and, bring food out, because I know what that meant to me when I was out there, when people would come out and do it. And then it transitioned into, well, we'll go out every week to make sure that they know that, no matter what, we're not giving up, and that they're cared about. And if they want to get help, this is what time we're going to be, we go to the same spot, same time every single week. So that was kind of, like I said, that was the start of it. And that was important to me because of my own story and my own experience, and kind of what helped push to get me off the streets. I love helping other people, like good people that are kind of victim to circumstance. And I'm not, obviously addiction's a whole nother ball game. But, so it's very rewarding for me. It helps kind of keep like my cup full in a sense. But, yeah, I would say like for the volunteers, it's similar, like going out on Thursdays, whether they're in recovery or they have family members in recovery, they have personal ties, or they're just really good people that genuinely care about making a difference. I know there's people out there who feel like they can't do it, feel like their life isn't going to change. And, if I could just make somebody for 1 second, even just plant a seed, that like, listen, I've been in 71 treatment centers. I've been homeless in multiple states. I've been in and out of jail. And like, this is what my life is like today. And I don't have much, but like spiritually, I'm very fulfilled, so I don't know. I mean, that's what it's all about to me.
Thank you so much for sharing what the Grace Project's all about. I really appreciate you being here. And now we're going to head back to the studio with Lauren and Jake.
Thank you to the Grace Project for everything they do for the Philadelphia community. Giving back is so important and can make a difference in someone's life. If you want to donate or volunteer, check out their website at teamgraceproject.org.
We'll be taking a short break. When we come back, we have a great group of artists to show you, along with some interesting programs. Stay with us.
Now we have to talk.
Yo, bro, what's good?
What's going on?
How you feeling, man?
Doing good. How you doing?
When'd you start smoking?
Smoking? It's a Juul, bro.
It's a Juul?
Yeah.
Listen, you might as well be smoking cigarettes. When you start juuling or vaping, you're 4 times more likely to start smoking cigarettes.
Is that true?
That's very true. Give me the Juul. You don't need it.
To learn more about e-cigarettes, go to thetruth.com.
According to statistics, 40 million adults suffer from depression or anxiety. 1 in 4 college students are affected by this as well. never know who is going through something, so you should always be kind to one another. A little kindness can go a long way. It might even save a life.
According to the Mayo Clinic, exercising has stress-busting benefits by bumping up your endorphins and improving your mood.
And we're back to Just Next Door with some more fantastic stories. Lauren, are you excited to see what we have in store?
Of course. I always like hearing about the groups and people in our community.
Well, I had the chance to highlight an organization that is dedicated to enhancing the lives of people with dementia through art. Let's see how they're helping the community. Arts Philadelphia is spearheaded by former Ursinus College Museum art director Dr. Susan Schifrin and works to improve the lives of those in Philadelphia suffering from dementia-related illness through art creation and community projects surrounding the visual and musical arts. The idea came about after Schifrin's mother was diagnosed with dementia in the year 2000.
When I founded Arts Philadelphia in 2013, my goal was to serve anyone and everyone living in the greater Philadelphia area who was either living with dementia or was a care partner for somebody living with dementia. We don't charge anyone participating in our services. From day one, my commitment was people living with dementia and their care partners have enough hurdles. We want to make coming to our programs hurdle-free.
Arts Philadelphia offers various programs such as Arts Connect, where participants can learn about paintings and illustrations and then discuss how they make them feel, or Arts in the Neighborhood, which takes a look at specific areas like North Philadelphia and creates and discusses artwork that's pertinent to the community.
What I would suggest is that people take a look at our website. It's artsphilly.org. There they will learn the full range of programs we offer. Once we're back in person, we will need people coming with us to care communities, coming to museums with us. If our participants feel better when they leave, we've done our job. We always start with the arts. So, for the first 5 or 6 years of the organization, all of our programs revolved around interactions around the visual arts, whether we were making art or talking about art. All of our programs are built on the premise that one of the deepest losses for people living with dementia and their care partners is the loss of community and the loss of joy in their lives. Our mission at Arts is to do all we can to offer opportunities to restore both joy and community.
The ways Arts Philly is helping those with dementia find their creativity and self-expression is really inspiring.
Some people make money using their creativity.
Do you know someone who does that?
It's funny that you ask. I had the opportunity to check out an artist on Etsy that sells handcrafted items. Take a look.
Many people have a creative side to them. Some people even start shops so they can sell what they create and other people can enjoy them.
Well, I've been crafting my whole life, and I just, I create, and that's pretty much what I do with everything. I just craft and I create and I just show it, and then people are interested or they're not, and they reach out to me to either buy the item that I've made or to have something like it customized to them.
One of Dory's favorite things to make are her UV resin earrings and her keychains.
I have my little ones. These ones I use UV resins for. These are the 8mm earrings. And these I actually just use tape and then a jump hoop. So that's just the little open circle that you would use to connect keychains and stuff. I use that and I just color my UV resin and pour it in there. UV light on it for a minute. And then it's there, it's done, it's really easy. And then I UV resin the backing onto it. Like I buy the backings of it and I just UV resin it onto the back, and it comes out so fast and easy.
Having her own business has made her realize how important it is to support other small businesses.
Since opening my own small business, I have like been more aware to what I'm buying at small businesses and what I'm buying with corporations. And I'm like, wow, I could be going and helping these people actually making a difference in their life instead of, just giving a CEO my money, pretty much.
Basically, if you would like to support Dory and her small business, you can follow her on her Instagram, or you can go to her Etsy shop.
I love supporting small businesses, especially when their products are as amazing as Dory's. If you want to check out her products, you can go to her shop, Fairney Made, on Etsy.com.
Supporting local small businesses is important. With our next story, we will be taking a look at a videographer who has ventured into the world of fashion.
With our next guest, we'll be talking to Benjamin Rawson, who started his own small business by combining the two things he loves, music videos and fashion.
My brand is called Cloudy, and I do clothing and videos, and I do both, but it's all under one name. I've been making videos since I was super young, probably like 10 years old, kind of just messing around with whatever camera I had at the time. As I got older, I had friends that were, getting into music and making music, and it was an interest of mine. And I was like, all right, I can't rap. So I was like, I might as well just, try to be a part of it and make videos, that show off their talents. I really enjoy the process. I shoot and edit, so I do both. I probably enjoy doing both equally. It's a lot of fun on both parts. When I first decided I wanted to make the brand, I pretty much had like the merch ready, and I was like, all right, I'm going to drop the trailer for the brand, and I'm also going to include the merch. So when I dropped the trailer, people kind of already knew that clothing was coming along with the deal. So I kind of just like, when I created it, I made sure people knew I had the clothing and I was doing videos.
Wow, those were some fire hoodies. I'm definitely going to check them out. If you want to see more, you can follow them on Instagram at The Cloudy Brand.
Our next story features another artist who has a unique eye for photography. Landscapes, portraits, sports, and more. This photographer does it all. Take a look.
If you've ever wondered what it's like to be a photographer, today is your lucky day. Ryan Levy is a 19-year-old photographer who shares his photos and video projects online.
I picked up a camera for the first time at the start of 2017. That's when I dove in. Pretty much shoot everything. I'll shoot landscapes, sports, portraits, events, real estate. I kind of just shoot anything that's thrown my way. The first thing I got to do for a shoot is come up with a concept. So I'll start exploring on Pinterest or Instagram. I have folders of ideas. But beforehand, then I'll just make sure my gear's ready, my batteries are charged, my memory cards are all good.
Ryan has an eye for photography as seen by the composition of his photos, but his editing styles and unique personalization are really what make his photos so impressive.
For editing my photos, I use Adobe Lightroom. I try to create a wow factor in each image, whether that's the colors or just the overall vibe. These filters that I've created over the course of my years in photography, they help me just stay consistent with my certain style.
Ryan also does video-based projects on YouTube where he documents nature, landscapes, and his daily life as an artist.
Photography I use as my escape from reality. The biggest thing it does for me, it gets me out into nature and the world. That's where I like to be. Photography was spawned from my love for exploring.
Ryan has photo prints available at ryanlevy.darkroom.tech. You can also keep up with him on Instagram, TikTok, and his up-and-coming YouTube channel.
Taking and editing all those pictures looks like tiring work. Lauren, how do you stay energized when you're working on a long project?
Well, Jake, I love a nice cup of coffee to keep me awake. Our last story features coffee shops on college campuses that provide students opportunities to work on campus.
Need a place to get some coffee? Why not go to Saxby's, run by Lasalle students?
So the program is called the Saxby's Student CEO Program. It's part of their experiential learning platform where students are given the opportunity to essentially run the cafe from all aspects, from an operations standpoint, from a financial standpoint.
A job this large is a lot harder to get into than just applying.
So they hold applications every year they have a student, they call it a student CEO or a cafe executive officer. They have applications open for for the semester beforehand. They take applications for the next semester. I myself, I knew I wanted to do this role before I even worked for Saxby's at all. And I thought it might be a good idea to get my foot in the door, so I applied just to be a barista at the Saxby's here at Lasalle.
Unfortunately, due to restrictions, LaSalle Saxby's is not open, leading the program to take on another Saxby's.
CEO at the Saxby's on UPenn's campus, which does a lot of sales, significantly more sales than the one here at LaSalle. It is certainly a full-time job. 45 to 50 hours a week.
So next time you need your fix of caffeine, why not check out?
That looks like such a great opportunity for students. I should give them my resume.
Not if I get there first.
Well, that concludes this episode of Just Next Door.
Thank you to everyone who has featured in today's show. If you want to be a chance to be featured, don't be afraid to reach out.
On Instagram, we are LaSalle TV, or on Twitter, we are LaSalle TV Philly. I'm Jake Eisman.
And I'm Lauren Ulrich. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you just next door.